Aespa has one of the most unique concepts in K-pop history. But most people either find it too confusing to follow or have never had it properly explained. Today we are breaking down the entire Aespa universe simply and clearly, from who the members actually are to what Kwangya is to why any of it matters. Most K-pop groups have a concept, a visual direction, a musical theme. What Aespa has is something completely different. They have an entire universe, a fully built fictional world with its own characters, its own villain, and its own ongoing story that develops with every comeback. The foundation of that universe starts here. There are 4 real members: Karina, Giselle, Winter, and Ningning. Each of them has a digital counterpart, an AI version of themselves that exists in a virtual world. These digital versions are called the I. So you have I Karina, I Giselle, I Winter, and I Ningning. That is why Aespa's leader Karina has publicly said they are an 8-member group, not 4. The connection between a real member and her I is called SYNK. When SYNK is strong, the real and digital versions of that person are aligned. When SYNK breaks, their identity becomes unstable. Everything in this universe, the story, the villain, the conflict, revolves around protecting or destroying that SYNK. The real world is where Aespa exists as we know them, but beyond it is a virtual space called Kwangya. Kwangya is not a physical location. It represents the internet, digital networks, and the boundless space where data exists. It is infinite, ruleless, and constantly shifting. Within Kwangya is a more stable layer called the Flat, the virtual realm where the I avatars normally reside. Between the real world and the Flat, there is a portal called the POS, Portal of Soul, which allows the real members and their I to meet and communicate across the 2 worlds. The figure who made this connection possible is NÆVIS, and this is where it gets particularly interesting, because NÆVIS is not a fictional character who only exists inside the story. She is a fully AI-generated virtual artist created by SM Entertainment using generative AI. Her voice was built by analyzing 12 different voice actors and combining them with AI. She has her own music, her own social media accounts, and her own solo discography. She made her solo debut with the single done in September 2024. Within the lore, NÆVIS is the navigator, the guide who opened the Portal of Soul and enabled sync between the real members and their I. She is the protector of the Aespa universe. Without her, the connection between the real world and Kwangya would not exist. Every universe needs a villain. In Aespa's world, that villain is the Black Mamba. The Black Mamba is not a person. She is an entity that grew from the negative energy of humans in Kwangya: greed, insecurity, hate, toxicity. Everything destructive about online culture fed her and made her powerful. Her goal is simple: break sync, sever the connection between the real members and their I. She believes humans treat their digital selves as disposable, something that can be deleted and replaced, and she uses each member's deepest fears against them to make that happen. In the Black Mamba MV, she targets each member individually. Karina faces the pressure of impossible expectations. Ningning faces relentless online hate. The fears are different for each person, but they all point to the same thing: the ways online culture can destroy your sense of self. The Aespa universe has developed across every single comeback since their debut. Here's the core arc simply explained. In Black Mamba in 2020, the threat is introduced. The Black Mamba attacks for the first time, attempting to break sync and separate the members from their I. In Next Level in 2021, Aespa fights back. For the first time, the members enter Kwangya directly through a process called sync dive, a merging of the real member and her I into one form. They go into the villain's territory rather than waiting to be attacked. In Savage in 2021, Aespa wins the first major battle. Using each member's individual abilities, they defeat the Black Mamba. It is the first real victory in the story. But in the process, NÆVIS sacrifices herself to help them, an event that has major consequences for the rest of the universe going forward. Every comeback after that, Girls, Spicy, Supernova, Whiplash, and now WDA, continues building on the aftermath of that sacrifice and the ongoing fight to maintain sync in a world where the line between real and digital is constantly breaking down. Aespa built something that no other K-pop group has attempted at this scale. A universe where the music, the visuals, and the lore all tell the same ongoing story. And the reason it works is that the story is not just fictional, it is about something real. The question of who you are when the real and virtual versions of yourself are constantly being pulled apart. Now that you understand the lore, go back and watch any of their MVs from the beginning. Black Mamba, Next Level, Savage, they hit completely differently once you know what is actually happening. Let me know in the comments which part of the Aespa universe you find most interesting. And if there is anything about the lore you still want explained, drop it below.